opposition New Patriotic Party is talking about some demonstration, and of course already I've seen some of you already sharing your thoughts on that particular story. The National Youth Organizer of the New Patriotic Party, Salam Mustafa, has urged Ghanaian youth to rise up against what he describes as selective justice and abuse of office under the current administration. Speaking at a press conference this afternoon, Salam Mustafa accused the John Mahama-led government and its security agencies of unfairly targeted NPP members through political motivated arrest, physical abuse, and violations of legal rights. He cited breaches of the 48-hour detention rule and the violations of an imposition of harsh bail conditions as examples of this alleged abuse. Mr. Mustafa contrasted these actions with what he called a soft-handed approach towards individuals affiliated to the National Democratic Congress NDC. He referenced several incidents, including threats allegedly made against minority leader Ahunahuna Alexander Kwame Afenyo and an alleged assault on NPP third vice chair Alhaji Osman Masawudu by NDC stalwarts Chief Awudu Sofo Azoka as instances where NDC figures were not held accountable, calling the situation a sign of growing tyranny. Mr. Mustafa urged young people across the country to join a planned protest on September 23, 2025. The demonstration, he said, is aimed at resisting what he views as systemic injustice and political repression under the current NDC administration. Take a listen.
Ghana Police Service, where is your integrity? Why the selective application of the law? Why the selective justice? And the NDC government, why this level of intolerance? We are seeing state-sponsored harassment, thuggery on opposition voices. The same government that birthed the dreaded Kevin Taylor, who has slaughtered every person in this country on the altar of his show. This government was able to bring Kevin Taylor into this country. They went and took him from the airport when there is a warrant, an effective warrant of arrest on him. He was not arrested. He was chauffeured by national security together with his family, well protected, and they took him to court. The very judicial system of Ghana that he bastardized, he robbed in the mud, and the Supreme Court rescinded the warrant on him. And he came out and was laughing at everybody. He was mocking everybody. What is brazen more than this? You people can benefit from the buffoonery of Kevin Taylor, but you can't take a small taste of your own bitter pill. The president, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, is a beneficiary of the foolishness of Kevin Taylor. All the insults he rained on everybody. Myself, having been on the chopping board of his show, he once sat on his show and called me a teni abwa, and that such a person is granted access into this country, chauffeured, taken care of, and allowed to go scot-free without harassment. But yet, NPP people are being harassed. That is the kind of government we are having today in Ghana. We need to speak out. Our country is being destroyed. The youth of Ghana are no more safe. They cannot speak. We will not allow a government to turn us timid, timorous people. That is not the youth of Ghana.
Resist oppressors' rule. We are going to resist.
We will resist oppressors' rule. That is why, in a voice of defiance, I say to you, all of you, rise up and let's demonstrate on the 23rd Tuesday and show our abhorrence to the selectivity, the injustice, the perversion of this government. For all of us, our collective safety, that will build a better society for Ghana. Our democracy would only thrive and flourish if politicians are held to account, and that we never get people power drunk, use all sorts of lies, deception to win political power, like we have seen in the current NDC government, where the good people of Ghana, we have sold our color TV and gone to buy a black and white. Our democracy would only thrive if we all resist tyrants, despots, and people who have little regard for the rule of law. The culture of silence being introduced in Ghana, the biggest sufferers of it will be you, the media. We are just a small screen. When they are done dealing with us, they will come after the media. That is why, come and join us, everybody, everyone. This is a clarion call, an invitation to everybody. Even if you are not an NPP person, but for the sake of our democracy, come join us and let's speak out and let's stand out and let the world see that we are not timorous. No way. And that on any day, if we are visited with tyranny, we will resist it. That is why on Tuesday, we will be demonstrating, starting from the Obra spot. 6 a.m. in the morning, we will all be there. Come and join us. All young people, TikTokers, everyone, media people, people in the creative arts, wherever you are, let's show our love for our motherland by saying that no, enough is enough. Enough is enough. Enough. Yes, Suro. Yes, Suro. Yes, Suro. Yes, Suro.
So there you go. Yensuro Ahunahuna means that we fear no intimidation. So that's what the New Patriotic Party, the NPP, is talking about. We'll go on the phone line shortly, but lots of messages sharing your thoughts on this particular discussion before we move on. We will be speaking to the government spokespersons shortly, and also speak to the New Patriotic Party on why they think there is selective justice, why they blaming the Ghana Police Service for selective arrests, and also why they blame President John Dramani Mahama's administration for what they describe as tyranny. We'll get into that discussion shortly, but share your thoughts with us. Wiseman from Kaswa says, good evening, class. The NPP man is only talking out of bitterness. Ghanaians should ignore him. That's what he says. And then from Awuna in Agave says, Kwame, good evening. It is not surprising that in Ghana, labor unions only go on a strike to seek increased emolument, while productivity is sinking. What percentage of productivity can Tewu boost off? So that's what. Let me go on the phone line and speak to Julius Anthony, who is a government spokesperson. Julius, good evening to you. Thank you so much for your time on 505.
Good evening, and it's a pleasure to be here.
Great. I'm sure you've heard the threats or the intention by the NPP to protest against President John Dramani Mahama's administration for what they describe as selective justice, accusing the Ghana Police Service under President Mahama of selective arrest. Let me have your reaction to that.
I do not think that the job of the Ghana Police Service is one that is controlled remotely by the President of the Republic. At least not under President John Dramani Mahama. And the accusations of so-called selective arrests are unfounded. There are records of persons who, one way or the other, are affiliated with the National Democratic Congress who have also been arrested recently. You would recall the issue involving the by-election in what do you call it? This Greater Accra constituency, the one involving our Kumsun. People were arrested and prosecuted. Recently in Akwetie, there were some issues. People were arrested. So what do they mean by selective justice and use of police service against them?
Well, they cited an example that Kevin Taylor has been speaking against people, tarnishing people's images in the country. He came into Ghana. He was driven by state security, walking in the country freely.
Do you have any evidence of the state providing any special security?
Well, this is from the NPP I'm talking about.
Yeah. So I mean, why are we taking that seriously and making a subject matter of conversation? In any case, is there any citizen of Ghana whose access to the courts is limited? In some number 2, Attorney General took the view that there must be an unfettered access to the courts. for all citizens of Ghana, regardless of their description. Is Kevin Taylor a Bulgarian? Is he a Togolese?
Mm.
And when he came to court, what did he come to seek in court? He came to seek a certiorari order, question directive of a judge who has demonstrated extreme bias and contempt towards his person.
Mm.
And that determination was made by the apex court of the land, the Supreme Court, by majority decision. So what is the NPP's qualm with that? The NPP has always had unfettered access to the court in this country. You would recall the Honorable Alexander Afenyo was one of the persons in this country who gets the swiftest response from the judiciary compared to any other person in this country. What has changed? Alexander Afenyo is able to file a writ in the Supreme Court in the morning, and by evening he has been heard and a determination has been made. Have you forgotten that?
Mm-hmm.
What has changed? If they feel that there is any issue which requires determination by the court, but they have chanted the chorus in this country, go to court, go to court, go to court. What has changed? What makes them think that other people going to court now is inimical to the interests of the NPP? Kevin Taylor has no right. The people who are arrested or who they claim were arrested, were they arrested without basis? Has access to the courts to vindicate the rights of those people been blocked by anybody? So why are they complaining that someone else has gone to court? They should also go. What prevents them? And one point must be made clear. There are no secondary citizens and primary citizens in this country. There are no first-class citizens and second-class citizens in this country. We are all citizens of the Republic of Ghana, simpliciter, with equal rights and equal responsibilities to this country. The differences which may exist by reason of conferment of law. For example, the president's preeminence over all other citizens as determined by the Constitution. Privileges and immunities which may exist for members of parliament or ministers of state are determined by the Constitution. All of that are determined by law. But we are all subject to the same law. The New Patriotic Party, its hirelings, its assigns, are of the view that they should be treated as a special class of citizens, that they cannot be arrested. They often make statements like, you should invite us. Who should invite you where? Under what law does it state that when the police want to arrest a person, or where they are interested in the person, or where they have a suspicion that that person has committed an offense, they are supposed to send a sweetheart invitation to the person? The criminal procedure code is obvious on how persons are supposed to be arrested. It includes the right of the police, when necessary, to even break into buildings and arrest you. It has not been lost on any of us in the National Democratic Congress or in government that these are the procedures that have been spelled out by law. It is a New Patriotic Party who, while in government, thought that they have classified themselves into a strata of citizenship that is over and above the rest of us. But you see them jump fences into the houses of people like the Honorable John Junapo. Then you see them jump fences into the houses of the Honorable Dr. Dominic Ayele and all of that. You send armored vehicles and all of that to the homes of people. Who is doing that to them? And this whole idea that we must do things that at all costs labels the government of President Mahama as one that is in pursuit of some vindictiveness against them and all of that is neither here nor there. In any case, before you can make a claim of someone acting, vindictively, then it means that there is something you have done, which is the basis of reprisal. In any case, we are not interested in making any reprisal attacks, reprisal prosecutions, or reprisal pursuits of anybody. But for them to even be making those claims suggests that they have done certain things wrong. What is those things they have done wrong? Are they willing to come forward to make an admission of those things? Are they willing to do that? So please, we should not take the New Patriotic Party seriously when they are engaged in it's theater, it's drama.
I see. But what mechanisms are in place to ensure the adherence of the 48-hour detention rule for all detainees, particularly in politically sensitive cases? Because that's one of the reasons they raise.
The law is clear. If you read Article 14 of the Constitution, particularly Clause 3, it guarantees the liberty of all individuals, including even in cases where those individuals are arrested. And that in events where detention of any person is to exceed the constitutional period of 48 hours, then that person must be arraigned before a court of law.
Yeah.
And the court of law will make a determination whether or not the continuous detention of that person is lawful. The people are also supposed to be offered opportunities to be given bail where necessary. And such bail conditions are supposed to be set by the law enforcement institutions. And so where that 48-hour requirement is breached, the individual has unfettered access to court for an order of habeas corpus. Who has blocked anybody from exercising that right? Who has done so? The law enforcement institutions are not micromanaged by the presidency. They are not micromanaged by the presidency. I have not seen President Mahama concerned about micromanaging law enforcement institutions. And so even in the unexpected circumstance that any law enforcement institution does not comply with these dictates of law, it is because of those likelihoods that the individual has an inherent right to seek that order of habeas corpus. Has any court refused them any such thing? The last time there was such an instance involving Abronye, where the circuit court judge made a pronouncement that all citizens are equal, but some are more equal, and all of that. You heard the condemnation that came from all who speak for and on behalf of government for that language of the judge. I heard the Honorable Felix Kwachu also speak on that matter. He did not accept that perspective, that some are more equal than some. He rejected that.
Yeah.
I heard Beatrice Annan speak on that issue. He did not accept that perspective. I heard Sunini speak on that issue. He did not accept that perspective. Speaking to you myself, I don't accept that perspective, that there are any class of citizens that are more equal than any class of citizens for which if people speak against them, they could be punished. But if there is anything to be seen in that judgment, one thing is obvious. He said that I have done the same under President Akufo-Addo and I am repeating it. When that conduct was happening under President Akufo-Addo, do you have any record? You are a media house of repute and you have records. In your archives, do you have any record that you can refer me to pointing to a condemnation of that attitude or that action or those actions on a certain presupposition that there are certain classes of people who are more equal than some? Did you get any condemnation of that? We, the NDC government, could have taken a simple cover under the fact that, well, it is a judge who has said it. And the people who are victims of such pronouncement are not members of the NDC. So yes, it's okay. Let them deal with it. We could have done that. It's the easiest thing to do that. Well, it's the court, so it's on you. But no, once we feel that it is improper, we look against it. I mean, that should bring a realization to the NPP that when these things were happening in the past and we're calling them out, the whole idea that, well, go to court or this pronouncement has been made by a court and so it is proper, it's questionable then as it is questionable now. You remember the case of the young people who went to protest against Galamsey? I think in November and in December 2024. They were arrested, detained, brutalized, denied their basic rights. Some were even denied access to food within those periods. When those detentions were challenged, you have a whole Attorney General, the Attorney General of the Republic of Ghana, go to court to oppose a bail application for young people who are protesting against a menace that threatens the lives of every single individual in this country. Alternatively, when a judge made a pronouncement that some people are more equal than some ministers, for that reason why he is denying bail to Abronye. Everybody knows Abronye.
Yeah.
And the sort of language Abronye uses in this country. How Abronye insults everybody in this country, abuses everybody, says all manner of nonsense about President Mahama and his family. Everybody knows that. How he disrespects, religious leaders of repute. The kind of nonsense he says about Archbishop Duncan Williams and all of that. Everybody knows that. But when the judge used that language in relation to Abronye, there was rejection of it from all who are associated with government that no, we do not want that in this country. It doesn't matter who Abronye is. And so if there are justifiable basis to keep him fine, but do not say that some people are more equal than some.
Right.
We did not get this from a New Patriotic Party.
Very well.
And so on what basis do they point at accusing fingers to anybody?
Well, Julius, let me thank you, but I'm sure that the government will be willing to accept any petition that will be presented at the presidency, correct?
Of course. Let me tell you.
Quick one.
When the New Patriotic Party was in government, they said that Jubilee House was a security zone and people could not present petitions. Since the National Democratic Congress took over government, there have been several. I've lost count of the number of petitions that have been brought to Jubilee House. But more importantly, is that the New Patriotic Party itself, led by the Honorable Alexander Afenyo Makin, Nanabi, the General Secretary, Justin Trinpong Kodia, and others, came to Jubilee House to present